I bought this doll like months ago, expecting this movie to be released like at some point this summer. Well, finally they put it on streaming because I have the same kind of cancer as Jane Foster. So let's talk about that. All right, so I guess not. I saw this movie tonight because it's finally streaming, and I waited so long. Anyway, I liked it, and I've seen a lot of reviews where people are like, "I didn't like it. It's too funny." Well, it's got some serious topics in it, and if it didn't have some levity, I would have been a pool of tears. In fact, I had to pause it at one point because that scene. Oh, spoiler alert. We're going to have spoilers here, and we're going to discuss what happened in the actual movie itself. So, the part where Jane Foster tells Thor that she's got cancer, I have to tell you, that took me right back to one of the hardest moments of my life, was telling my husband that I had cancer. And then again, when I had to tell him that it was stage 4, like 4 months later, because it takes a long time for them to diagnose your cancer fully. So, here's what I think is happening with Jane in the movie. I think she's got stage 4 cancer that is probably grade 3. There's stages and there's grades of cancer. And so she has stage 4, they say that. But I think her cancer is more aggressive than mine. Mine is grade 2. I think hers is a grade 3, which means super motivated cancer that's really trying to kill you. And her chemo isn't working very well. So it's a scary prospect. I mean, if it had been too serious, how would you really build that as a family movie? I think some of these grown men that do these movie reviews aren't keeping in mind that these are for families to consume, right? You want the kids to occasionally join in, like this movie allowed, for the kids to be their own heroes sometimes. That's not very realistic all the time, but don't count kids out entirely. I mean, kids can be capable of more than we think, right? But at the same time, I think this movie had to delve into things like disease. It dealt with death. It dealt with the death of children, potentially, which I didn't think Disney would really allow to happen. But like at any point, I was never worried about those kids. But at the same time, it allows for children in the audience to get worried about someone their own age, you know, and to see someone their own age fighting back, even more importantly. So I don't think that there's anything in this movie that I would have really changed, because maybe for once the MCU made a movie that's more like an action movie for a 50-year-old woman who has breast cancer, you know? But I really liked that the kids were able to fight back for themselves. I liked that there was humor. I had to pause the movie when Jane told Thor, because, like I said, that was a really difficult moment in my life. And the movie just kind of whoop, whoop, right past it. And they're already walking away into the next situation. I had to kind of catch my breath. So I had to pause the movie for that moment. And so maybe it was better that I didn't see it on the big screen, because I'm on chemo all the time, so I didn't go to the movie theater to see it. Well, not all the time. I have a week off once a month from chemo. That's a chemo cycle. That is a 4-week chemo cycle. So like week 1, I'm pretty good. Week 2, my immune system's going down a little. Week 3, and then that 4th week is a week off of chemo to give my immune system a chance to go back up, you know? So I've been pretty much staying away from a lot of public places, like, you know, big Walmart shopping places, or places like restaurants, like dining in, movie theaters, because of again, that's kind of enclosed space. I mean, I know it's sort of big, but anyway, just because of COVID and whatnot, and I have a compromised immune system, so it is what it is. Anyway, I would have liked to have streamed this movie sooner, because the people with cancer that would like to see this movie had to wait all summer. So, and we're still in quarantine, some of us. So have a heart. I mean, not strict quarantine, but my home is my quarantine headquarters, so to speak. My home and my car. So it would have been nice to have seen this movie streamed sooner. That said, I really don't have very many complaints about this movie. I thought it was a really wonderful time. I enjoyed Christian Bale. Every moment of him on screen, I felt his pain. I teared up when Natalie Portman broke the sink. I so related to that. And then I also really related to when she asked Valkyrie, please don't tell anybody. Let's not talk about this. I really enjoyed that. I liked Russell Crowe as Zeus. I thought that his beard just cracked me up for some reason. The curls in it. I liked that he played Zeus perfectly. Zeus is a very pompous, arrogant god or whatever, and I really liked that he played that fully. Like, he seemed to really be eating up that scenery. And what scenery? Oh, a feast for the eyes. That was beautiful. I know a lot of people that don't really love CGI, but I don't know. I've known some digital artists in my day. I used to volunteer at DeviantArt as a gallery director for their stock images and stock art resources galleries, and I have to say I got a soft spot for people who composite art together and do, anything from photoshopping photos to creating actual elements in 3D program. This is not easy work. And so when I say it's a feast for the eyes, I mean it's a feast. I loved those scenes when they went to visit all the other gods, that big palace where they met. I was impressed. I was impressed with the shadows. I was impressed with Christian Bale's makeup and his eyes, and just the acting job they allowed him to do by not doing too much prosthetic on his face. I mean, he had lots of scarring, but even the scarring was so symbolic of like this, just because a lot of my study from my condition that I have has led me to study a lot about scar tissue and stuff like that. So his wounds being right on, just tore me apart when his daughter died. And these are heavy topics. And honestly, I don't know how you make a family-friendly movie without, And when I found out that I had cancer, I thought, I must be dying. I mean, so I Googled, how to die well. I tried to find out how to die well. And everything that I read kind of pointed me to one philosophy I've taken into my own is dying well doesn't have anything to do with dying. You live well. That's, if you want to die well, live well. So I'm losing weight and, different kinds of the things that I've been doing to kind of try to help myself more, try to love myself more, try to give myself more time, because it's all borrowed time now, right? Like Natalie Portman's character, she's just on borrowed time at this point. And I loved that. She was very convincing. I bought it, I felt for her. I thought she represented the tiredness so really well. Just how she looked is how it feels when you're that tired. I didn't really have any symptoms for my breast cancer. There very little pain that would come and go once in a while. But by the time I'd gotten myself in for a mammogram, that shit was stage 4. So please do self-exams, and do get if you're of the age where maybe your medical insurance, I hope you have, if you're from the US. But if you can get to a Planned Parenthood or something like that, a free clinic where you can get your mammograms once a year after the age of 45, I recommend that to any woman. And even if you're a man, do those self-exams too, because this is not just a woman's disease. Men can get it too. So protect yourself, love yourself enough to protect yourself and your family, and know your family medical history too. That can help a lot. But, I didn't know until after I was diagnosed that I had a great aunt on my mother's side of the family. My mother's aunt died of breast cancer. I didn't know any of this before. So it makes a good argument for getting yourself checked, for examining yourself, to avoid the Jane Foster, or in my situation, where we didn't go until we were so tired. And by then, it's already stage 4. So regular exams is the best way to catch that in time. But anyway, I love the movie. I love that they that they training the kids for self-defense at the end. I thought that was great. I thought that just the screaming goats cracked me up every time. That just really, I'm an animal lover and I love screaming goats, and that was just the funniest. I enjoyed it. I was there with it, and if you're a grown man complaining about this movie that was too funny, too silly, well, put yourself in that person's position of you got to tell a story for a family to enjoy about breast cancer and children dying. Maybe a few jokes, okay? Because otherwise you're going to have everybody in the whole theater crying. So have a heart, for the people the art people that make this stuff for you and make it good. And they're working hard, and give them some credit. I mean, I'm not a big fan of what Disney exactly did with all their Star Wars stuff, but I really like what they did with this Thor thing. And I think that people who didn't like it should maybe give it another chance through different eyes. So those are my thoughts on Thor, Love and Thunder. Did you see it? What did you think about it? Did you like it? Do you know anybody with breast cancer that saw it? What they think about it? I would love to know all your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like my content, please feel free to subscribe. It is free. And of course, as always, please be kind to yourself and others. Love you. Bye.